Alright, little bit of a different video today. If you're subscribed to me for Berserk stuff, don't worry, I'm not going to stop making that, but I just felt like talking about something else this time. So recently I've been really into Street Fighter V. Basically the point of this video is to go over kind of the journey of learning fighting games and kind of maybe give a few words of encouragement to my fellow scrubs out there that are trying to learn the game. And on top of that, I really want to encourage the people who are kind of on the fence about learning fighting games, because that's really where I was for the longest time. And just by going from lots of comments that I see on YouTube videos and just discussions that people are really intimidated by fighting games, like they're into them, they want to learn them, but they see what like the pros are doing and they just see that they're just on a whole nother level and they don't think it's possible for them to do any of that stuff. But I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. It'll take a lot of effort, but there's no superhuman component necessary to getting good at fighting games. Not that I'm good or anything yet, but I'm starting to see the matrix of how you learn and actually improve yourself. I'll start off just with a brief history of my experience with fighting games over the years. Like I said before, I've always been a casual fan that would see tournaments and high-level play, just get really intimidated, but then like pick up the games for a little while, play them, maybe do some arcade mode stuff, maybe some training mode, but kind of be a little too scared to go online, and when I did, I would get so destroyed that it just wouldn't be fun. There was one exception to that, and that was Dead or Alive 4 back in the Xbox 360 days. For some reason, that game really clicked for me, and I was actually able to go online and win pretty regularly for some reason without, like, actually learning the game. It was just really intuitive for me for some reason, and I was able to hold my own, and it was a lot of fun. But that is definitely not my experience for most fighting games. Something else that got me more into fighting games over the years, like I said, I was always kind of a casual fan, but I didn't have very broad horizons when it came to fighting games, but the Friday night fisticuffs that the Super Best Friends used to do really opened my eyes and introduced me to a lot of games that I wouldn't even have heard of otherwise. Over the last year or so was really when I started getting the mindset where I wanted to actually learn the fighting game and not just kind of casually mess around with it, and that game was Street Fighter V. I realized that that game gets a lot of hate, and a lot of it's justified because of how horrible it was at launch, but right now it's actually a lot of fun. I started off trying to actually learn the game, but I would kind of get bored after a while, so the skills that I would accumulate would go away because I would play it so infrequently that anything that I did figure out and improve myself on, it would kind of just go away because I wouldn't use it for a long period of time. I made it through the bronze rank up into the beginning of like super bronze, and that's basically where I hit a wall where I could pretty much hold my own against bronze players and beat them most of the time, but when a super bronze would come up, I would just get bodied every time. So at that point, I decided to pretty much stop playing ranked because it was always like one step forward and two steps back whenever I would go into ranked, so I would just play casual and try to learn a little bit. It really wasn't until like this last week that I actually started taking this more seriously for some reason, and I don't really know what the catalyst was. I think I might have just ended up stumbling on one of the recent online tournaments, and that kind of got me hooked back in a little bit. I've been watching a lot of tournaments that have been going on recently, as well as the streams and YouTube videos from a lot of like the top players in the FGC, at least in the Street Fighter V scene. I've been watching everyone's favorite player, Dr. Smuggles PhD, aka Smug, as well as Brian F, Punk, and a dude called Silos who made a bunch of really helpful Sakura tutorials. And Sakura is the character I've been playing recently because in one of the tournaments I saw, there was a dude in, I think, the South American bracket, either from like Mexico or Brazil, called Kusanagi, and he was playing like this crazy Sakura that was just doing all kinds of stuff, and I really wanted to try her out because of all that cool stuff he was doing. With all the history out of the way, let's start talking about actually playing the game, my mindset for playing the game, and just how I try to learn and better myself. The first thing I want to talk about is what I think is the most important thing, and that is your mindset in going into learning a fighting game. In my opinion, if you're going in to start playing a fighting game and your goal is that of someone who just wants to find the easiest way to find like a gimmicky character who can carry their way through low ranks because they don't know how to deal with it, you're kind of setting yourself up for disaster. You're probably going to win for a while, but you're definitely going to hit a pretty hard brick wall once you start dealing with people who know what they're doing and how to punish stuff. I feel like the best experience you're going to have is if you go in with the goal to improve yourself and learn. And a big part of that is really knowing your limitations and accepting the fact that when you're starting a fighting game, you're a scrub. There's no way around it. There's nothing derogatory about it. Everyone's a scrub when they start. And a big part of acknowledging your scrubbiness is coming to the realization that your losses are your fault. I mean, if there's a shitty connection or something that's out of your control, then you can blame it if it's like a legitimately bad connection, which you're gonna find. But other than that, if you're losing, it's because you fucked up. Now, you're gonna come across things that seem totally unfair and that there's just nothing you can do about it, but there always is something you can do about it, and learning what you can do about it is kind of the point of the journey of learning a fighting game in the first place. It feels so good to get bodied in a game with someone, but seeing what your mistakes are, and then when you get that run back for a second game, correcting those mistakes and beating that person, that's just the best feeling in the world. That actually happened to me really recently, so I'll put that game at the end of this video and do a little bit of match analysis to show like my thought process of how I overcame the stuff that was beating me, and just why I do what I do, basically. Another thing that a lot of people get intimidated by is training mode, and just the level of competency they think you need to have before going online. You really don't need to know your character's optimal damage combo, because at this level you're never going to get it in a real match anyway. So to start off, you really just need to learn a basic, maybe 3 or 4 hit bread and butter combo that ends in like a special move. And then what each button does, and actually memorizing, so when you press a button, you know exactly what kind of action is going to come out. But going back to training mode, actually I find training mode really therapeutic and almost meditative. I love just going into training mode for like a couple hours and having a podcast or maybe a YouTube video that's audio focused, and just basically messing around, practicing the combos I want to land in a match, and maybe figuring out new combos, going over meaty timings and all that kind of stuff. I actually find that really enjoyable just to chill and do for like an hour or two. And it is good to practice those really big high-level combos, but just don't expect to actually use them anytime soon. You kind of have to just build your way up, but having that muscle memory for when you do get to that level is really helpful. You just don't need that when you're getting started out. So now I'm getting to the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place. Something happened over the last maybe 5 days or so that really clicked for me, and I'm not sure what it was. I kind of started feeling like I knew what I was doing, and it felt amazing, and that's why I want to encourage as many people as possible to get into fighting games, because it's fucking amazing. For the longest time, I would just get so intimidated and overwhelmed by a lot of characters. I would always be playing at my opponent's pace. But all of a sudden, I've just been able to actually react to stuff and know what buttons I need to do to punish and get the mind games down a little bit. And it all kind of clicked for me all at once, which is really surprising. Like I said before, I'm still a huge scrub. I'm at, I think, Ultra Bronze right now, which is still a super low level, but I've been winning a lot. And what I said before about when I would be up against someone of a higher rank than me, I'd always get destroyed, that's not happening anymore. I fought a few silvers and I've been holding my own with all of them. Like, I haven't won all the fights, but none of them overwhelmed me, and I won a good portion of them. And with the people at the Super Bronze level over the last couple days, I think I've won all of my ranked matches against them. In fact, I had a 7 or 8 game winning streak in ranked, and that's never happened to me before. I just want to tell everyone to stick with it, and you really get out what you put in. If you actually put in the effort, you're gonna improve. And I think watching a lot of high-level play is also really beneficial. Your brain just kind of picks up on stuff that the pros are doing, and even if you don't understand it consciously, it kind of gets put in the back of your head. So when you're in those situations in your games, your brain kind of just remembers what you saw the pros do, and it helps you so you don't get overwhelmed as easily. So I would strongly encourage you to watch tournaments, watch the pro gamers that stream, like I said, Punk, Smug, Brian F. There's just a ton of people that play Street Fighter at a high level and are really entertaining while they do it. So now I think it's time to get to that last match I was talking about, where I got destroyed for the first game, but figured out what I was doing wrong and ended up winning the next 2 games. The match I'm going to be talking about is against a character that I've actually had a lot of trouble with, and that's Laura. She's always been one of those characters that I just found super overwhelming. She'd be dashing all over the place, those command grabs would catch me out of nowhere, and for the longest time I just wouldn't know what to do with her. And that trend continued for the first game, but let's get started with it. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of play-by-play right now. It's going to be all in one take, so I apologize if I kind of get stumped and don't know what to say, but here we go. So first thing I get hit with is these overheads and a command grab following the overhead, and that's going to be my biggest problem that I need to solve. I get the cross-up combo there, and then she wakes up with the EX command grab. Get another Shoken there. And that's another thing I learn about this character, or this player right here, is he really likes to charge those lightning things, and that gives me a pretty big opening later on. So, yeah, you see it right there? I ended up getting clipped by that one, but I deal with that a little bit better later on. So this match right here, yeah, I get cross up right there. Not too bad, but I still got beat. Round 2, here we go. And I think this one is where I start kind of getting bodied a little bit more. It's that overhead really starts catching me. And that's another thing that I remember happening is her fully charged lightning. Yeah, there's that overhead, there's that command grab. And this is what really overwhelmed me when I was newer at this game. Like, I would not know how to deal with that. Shouldn't have swept there, it's always stupid to sweep. Overhead, I block it there, and that's when I don't think I tried to do that super. I think I was going for the DP into super, but then the DP didn't come out, but whatever, I'll take the damage. Get hit by another command grab there. I did the delay wake up, which ended up being a good decision. It kind of threw her off a little bit. See, is this where the lightning thing fucked me? Yeah, no, it's not there. I remember her doing that lightning thing, and I was holding back to walk back, but the range I was in was causing me to get hit by, or not get hit, but just keep me into block stun. But yeah, there we go. I lost that round. Main problem was those overheads. They were catching me every time she did it, and it's a really unsafe move that's super punishable, and that's what I figure out for the next round. Alright, round 2. I block her overhead there and get a punish out of it, but that was a raw one, so that wasn't the problem. When she did it raw, I usually there I got clipped by it again. It was when she did that in a combo after I was blocking. Oh yeah, yep, she just kept doing it, and I fucked up the punish, but I did block it there. That's the important thing. I noticed that she likes to wake up EX reversal, so I kind of play into that a little bit later. Block the overhead again, and good punish. Tried to neutral jump there because I thought she might try to tech. Yep, overhead clips me again. Crush counter, but I think I did I was trying to hit her with a DP, but I think I did it too soon, so it just didn't come out. I end up doing that a lot. clipped by another overhead. I still haven't completely learned, but I got her a couple times in another close round, but I don't remember, do I win? Nope, she finishes me off with that overhead again. So still haven't quite learned, but I did punish her a couple times for it, and I think starting next round is when I really start actually getting my game plan down. There, she does it first thing, good punish, caught the wake up DP, but the punish there wasn't great. Check that. Yeah, it's the high-low mix-up that was really fucking me up with Laura the most, combined with the command grab, but I feel like I've started to get a lot better at it. I say as I just totally get wrecked again. But no, I get that punish again there. That time, I did do the super on purpose. What I do is pretty much, if I'm ever in that situation where I get a full combo and have full meter, I usually just go for the super just for that damage, because I know I can use it more tactically, but it's like I'm not good enough. I don't want to leave that on the table, so I'll just take that damage wherever I can get it. I end up pulling this round out, and I think this is where the comeback starts. I'm pretty sure the rounds after this aren't as close, but we'll just have to see. By the way, I do love the Gloria costume for Laura there. Like, the Devil May Cry costumes are sick in this game. I really like Ed's Nero costume, but I just wish there was, like, the alternate was, like, getting rid of the stand instead of taking the coat off, because the stand is kind of distracting the Devil Trigger. But now I'm kind of getting off topic there. I blocked the overhead, get the nice EX punish. Okay, now it's I don't know why I'm neutral jumping there. I should just go for the meaties. My meaty timing has actually been really on point recently, and that's how I've been getting a lot of wins. Just people love waking up buttons at these ranks, and if you have that meaty timing, that's just free damage all day. Yeah, there's her starting to charge those lightning things. That's another thing I took note of at this point, and I'm like, when I see her do that, I can punish that. And she just goes raw super, but that doesn't hit, but kind of out of range to do anything about it. There we go, I get the cross up, but I just fucked up the timing on the punish, and fucked up the punish there too. That's like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but my execution, as Dr. Smug would say, is kind of not on point yet a lot of the time, because I kind of have trouble going from Sakura's back heavy punch into DP, because that's her primary combo is the back heavy punch into DP, and going from the back position on the stick to the forward plus the quarter circle kind of fucks me up a lot. So I take that round, so I'm gonna pause it right here and we'll go on to the next one. And here we go with the final game with this silver Laura. Like I said before, Laura's usually destroy me, and I'm actually starting to get a hang of this matchup, and it feels really good. Just going for that overhead like crazy. It's like, I expected her to learn that I kind of figured that out, and I've been punishing it like every time she does it in a combo. Like, here we go. Except my punishes have not been on point a lot. But I have been blocking and punishing them, just not very well. Sometimes it is, I don't know, I know something about the net code when someone's mashing, there's more rollback. But I do notice a lot of times there's huge, very mysterious lag spikes that happen like right when I'm in the middle of a combo that just either eats my input or mistimes it, and it causes me to drop input. I know that's a total John, but it legit happens all the time, and it's super fucking annoying. But there I go, I take that round. Not very pretty, and that was a dumb sweep, but you didn't punish. EX command grab, not too bad. I'm like not off to a great start, but let's see where it goes from here. I know something some bullshit happens with that lightning thing, but I guess it happened. Oh, here it is. No. And again, I think I was going for the DP into super, but I messed that up so much and going to the super early. That was a good confirm there. Wake up EX. Was not ready for that one. Wake up throw. I teched that one, which was actually pretty good. And we're at a pretty close life. This must be, yeah, no? Okay, I keep building up that lightning thing, and it doesn't happen. Did that happen with another Laura or something? Because I feel like I'm going crazy. Get the punish there, though, and again, another close round. Let's see, that overhead, I just couldn't punish it that time because I was, like, in the air. Wasn't expecting that one, huh? And then just the Hadoken to finish it off. I guess I'm crazy and that lightning thing happened with a different Laura. But the moral of the story is it feels really good when you get hit by stuff, but then figure out what that stuff is and then fix your mistakes. And then I guess it feels even better when your opponent doesn't realize it and they keep doing it, giving you a free win. But that's going to be it for this video. It's going to be pretty long already. I really appreciate it if you sat through the whole thing. If you're curious about fighting games, I really recommend you get into it. It's a lot of fun, but a lot of effort. Maybe look up some discords with other like new players, or just there's a lot of battle lounges that are specific for new players that kind of ease you into things. So I really would recommend you getting into fighting games if you're at all interested. It feels great to learn. It's an amazing community, although it can be kind of toxic at times, but what community can't? I would really appreciate it if you rate the video, because my channel's really small and it would help me out a lot. I don't know how many other videos I'm going to make on Street Fighter or fighting games, but I mean, it's definitely in the cards, but my bread and butter right now is like Berserk analysis, so if you're into Berserk, subscribe. And hey, if people like this Street Fighter stuff or fighting game stuff, I'd be more than happy to make more videos, maybe even do some live commentary as I'm playing matches. That sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for watching.